Hello for another week on my journey here at Keeping It Real with Drea. I am really excited to come to you today in fall colors, totally feeling the fall vibe. No, I am not a pumpkin spice fan. I honestly don't even love or like pumpkin pie, but if it's good, if it's like actually baked very well, I will eat it. But I'm learning to love pumpkin. Definitely not on some of the level that you guys are. If you're a big pumpkin spice fan, you let me know in the comments of what I might need to try in order to become one of those fans. But if you are, totally nothing wrong with that. You do you, and let me know what I need to try in order to like this pumpkin life as you guys do. But if you didn't see, I made a social media post not too long ago about the One More identity. As you know, I've been reading this book by Ed Mylett, The Power of One More. A quote in there that he has by Andy Warhol is, they always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. And we all have our identity, right? And little did you know, you might have known, but it is the most powerful and influential driver of what governs the outcomes of our lives that we choose to live. So all of the thoughts that you have, the concepts, the beliefs, all of these that you hold nearest and dearest to your inner person, like we can totally put on a front for others, right? We've all been there. We've all like had a lot of stuff going on in the back end of our lives, and we show up to a party and we have a good time, and nobody will know anything different, but we know the truth about ourselves, right? There is no running from that. And the best part about this journey that I'm on is right now, I am willing to sacrifice who I am for who I can be. And if you know anything about me, you will find out very soon that I hate the society norm. So we're told throughout our entire lives through the societal norm is that we shouldn't change who we are for literally insert any reason here. But as Ed Mylett states in his book, we weren't put on this earth to be a bump on a log, a lump of coal in the ground. And your mission is to keep growing, expanding, and learning and lead a full and happy life. When we do these things, your identity will change. I've changed. If you met me in high school or you knew me in high school, you might like me, you might not. It all depends on when you met me, right? So I can say the same for college, and I hope that after college, like literally anybody who meets me, I sure hope they like me. Like that is, I don't think I've been an awful person since then, but who knows, right? So we all change. I can tell you also too that if anybody talks to me about somebody in high school, it's like, yeah, I mean, I have my opinion of who they were in high school, but that doesn't mean that's who they are today. And I can't sit there and say, oh, they're a terrible person because this is what they were like 12 years ago. That's totally not even fair and not right, because most likely they've changed a few different times. I don't believe that there's anything wrong with change. And I want you to know that even though society tells us we shouldn't change for anything, it's okay. It's okay to change. And in order to initiate change, I believe you need to focus on your self confidence and how it relates to your identity. And you might be wondering, what's the difference, Drea? And I'm so glad you asked. Identity is what you believe you are worth, whereas self confidence is the means to deliver on it. I'll say it again. Identity is what you believe you are worth, whereas self confidence is the means to deliver on it. I don't know about you, but I grew up with my mother telling me, your word is as good as a promise. If I told her I was going to clean my room or feed the dog or pick up the trash, I was making a promise to her that I was going to do just that. How disappointed are you when someone says they are going to do something and in the end do not deliver on that promise? It's frustrating. And depending upon what it is, it could even like make your heart hurt a little bit, right? Like it's a very serious ordeal. Well, when I'm talking about self-confidence here, I am talking about self-trust. If you tell yourself you are going to do something and you don't deliver, how are you going to be able to trust yourself? And that self-confidence is about moving forward because of the promise that you made to yourself. Ralph Waldo Emerson, that is a mouthful. Like, I hope that's just his middle name he added in there. Can you imagine being in kindergarten? Ralph Waldo Emerson, all of it all together all the time. Anyways, he puts it this way: what lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside of you. You are the only one who gets a say in how much self-confidence you want. You are the one you have to fight with when you break those promises. Making the promise can be easy, but taking that first step and acting towards that promise is the hardest part. I am actually about to tell you some very personal stories. Many of you who know me, you see a confident woman and you possibly see self confidence exuding from my being, but I haven't always been this way. Like I told you earlier, like I've changed multiple different times. Some of it was not for the better and some of it was for the best. But I've had hard times, like many of you in this life, that made me question my self confidence. And it made me believe that I was not worthy of being put on a pedestal, that I was not worthy of love, that I was just another statistic in the world. Like I can keep going. We would be here all day. But as we are about to get real, it's not called, keeping it real with Drea for nothing. I was engaged back when I was 21 to a guy. We were engaged for 3 years and I had to end it. I will save you all the dirty, boring details, but I left that relationship wondering, what is wrong with me? What did I do wrong? Right. And then short time, later, I moved to Texas. I got engaged and even married to this next guy. Again, I had to be the one who ended this relationship. And this one just made me an incredibly angry person. I was angry at God. I was angry at myself. I was angry at so many things. I didn't move forward as easily with this one. And it still made me wonder why? What is wrong with me? What did I do wrong? Right. And I don't tell you these stories because I want you to feel bad for me. I tell you these stories because I want you to know that when you self sabotage yourself, you deny yourself the bliss that was headed into your life. And I was self sabotaging my life. Shane Parrish puts it perfectly. Optimism might not make you successful, but pessimism will ensure that you don't succeed. And it was so important to me and for me to heal from these instances and many others not mentioned, but these experiences in life because society tells me, it tells us in this case, that because these relationships did not work, that I was worthless. Did you catch that though? Society tells us that. That is the whole moral of my story that I want you to take away. If you take away anything today, in order to be successful and in order to successfully align myself with my true potential identity, I had to destroy the self sabotaging that I was allowing my inner self to hear, the discouragement that I listened to, the doubt I allowed in. When you get to a point to where you're willing to believe in yourself and you speak verbally that you are worth it and you acknowledge your achievements and what you're proud of yourself for, not that you can, be worth it if, that you are worth it right now and that you start living that way. Your mind will no longer live with that thought and that your thought of, and that thought loses its limiting power on you. You are not what you possess. You are not your accomplishments. You are not what other people say you are. What you look like doesn't mean everything. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not bad to worry about what your state of dress is or how you look or where you're at in your health journey, but make sure that you're doing it for you and not anyone else. Because true beauty comes from within. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. How many women or men do you know that are just gorgeous or handsome when you first see them, but then you learn about how awful they are to other people. And now all of a sudden they are 100% no longer attractive. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And with the risk of, getting a little mushy, your identity is what is within your heart. It comes from your soul, your intentions, your generosity, your beliefs, how you treat people. And I really love how Ed Milet says it, because he says, remember, you are defined by the content of your character and not by the reflection of your bathroom mirror. And the end of the story is when you apply the right self-talk, the right self-confidence, the right motives, you're on your way to living and creating your best potential identity and also living and leading your best life. And that is what I am doing on this journey, you folks, all of you folks. That is what I'm doing on this journey. I am willing to change myself for my best, being my best, living my best life, leading my best life. And that includes all the right self-talk, all the right self-confidence, making that first step into that promise that I made to myself. And if you got anything out of this today, other than what is the best pumpkin recipe out there that I could try, I just would love for you to share it in the comments below or shoot me over a message. I mean, I'd love to connect and talk to you about your journey as well, if there's anything that resonates with you here. But just remember that when you apply the right self-talk and that right self-confidence, I mean, you're basically unstoppable. So let me know how you guys are doing, and I can't wait till next time. Bye.